In this lesson, we're going to be talking about wireless sniffing. So sniffing over wireless networks obviously requires a wireless interface and it requires a sniffer. So I've got a sniffer here and that's Wireshark, and I do happen to have a wireless interface. And so I can start up sniffing on my wireless interface just like that. And you can see all of the network traffic that's going across here. So depending on the type of sniffing that you want to do, something like this may be adequate for you, where you really just want to sniff a wireless network. You want to look at the traffic going across it. You are not as concerned about specific portions of the wireless protocols themselves and what's happening there. You're really just interested in the network details, so all of the packets that are flowing across the network. You want to sniff as though you were plugged into the wire. So something like Wireshark is perfectly adequate for those types of situations where you've got a wireless card and you need to do some sniffing, so you grab Wireshark or something similar to it, and you can just start sniffing on the wireless network. If you are more concerned with wireless activity in terms of the things that are going on at layer 2 and layer 1, then you probably want something like AeroDump. And here's AeroDump. It's part of the AirCrack suite of programs. And here I'm going to run AeroDump, and I'm going to specify that Mon0 is my network interface. So you can see it's skimming through all of the channels looking for any sort of traffic that's going on the wireless networks. And here's one of the differences between this and Wireshark. With Wireshark, I have to be connected to the network in order to actually get packets from it. So it's like I'm plugged into it even though it's wireless. Here with AeroDump, what I'm doing is I'm grabbing all of the Wi-Fi packets that are coming over the air, and I don't really care whether I'm attached to the network or not. I'm just grabbing everything that comes off the air. So here's where I have the potential to grab packets that are part of a wireless network that I'm not attached to, and it also gives me the ability to see details at the really low layers of the protocols. Of course, as we've discussed previously, this sort of tool gives you the ability to capture data that can be used to crack wireless encryption protocols. So here's another reason why you may want to use something like AeroDump as opposed to Wireshark. So really there's a couple of different ways of thinking about wireless sniffing. One is just sniffing wireless networks that you're on, which again, you can use just any common sniffer like Wireshark or TCP dump. And another one is actually sniffing the air for actual wireless information or Wi-Fi data that may or may not belong to networks that you are attached to. So you can see here on AeroDump, I've actually picked up a station, and it doesn't seem to have a name attached to it that the program is displaying. It's just got the BSS ID, which is hexadecimal, and the station's MAC address. But I could use this to start capturing a lot of packets if I let this run long enough, and if it had a network interface that was capable of pulling a lot of data in, I could certainly do that. And that would be a way of doing wireless sniffing, particularly if I were interested in doing something like encryption cracking for WEP encryption or WPA encryption. But those are a couple of different ways of doing wireless sniffing.